Star Wars Visions, the anime anthology series, comes out on Disney Plus next week on September 22nd, and over on StarWars.com we were able to get a small little look into some of the characters we're going to be meeting in these episodes, as well as what some of these episodes are about. Starting off with production IG's The Ninth Jedi. I should probably mention before going any further that this video will probably contain some heavy spoilers, so if you want to go into Visions completely blind, I suggest you turn away now. The story of The Ninth Jedi focuses on the character of Kara. In short, Kara is the daughter of a lightsaber smith who wants to bring the Jedi Order back because they live in a time where the Jedi Order does not exist. This episode is going to focus on some of the same story ideas that we already know. Kara, much like Luke, wants to get off her planet and become a hero and go on adventures, but unlike most of our characters in the Star Wars universe, Kara has a very close and loving relationship with her father. I also think it's cool that while the Jedi seem to be a big focus on these Vision episodes, it seems like the idea of the lightsaber is playing a bigger role in this particular short. Kara's father makes lightsabers that are far more unique than any ever seen. The article on StarWars.com says, and I quote, "Writer-director Kenji Kamiyama really leaned into this new and different vision of what a lightsaber can be, and how it can reflect the nature of those who might wield it." This alone I think is really awesome, because it feels really close to Japanese history. The samurai were very close with their katanas, and not every katana was ever made the same way. It was unique to the wielder, so I love that we're seeing those same callbacks here in The Ninth Jedi. And lastly, it says that this episode will give Kara the chance to see if she feels worthy enough to pick up a lightsaber and become one of the Jedi of old. Next up we have Kar, not Kara, just Kar, from Trigger's The Twins. Kar is the twin brother of his sister, Am, both born into the dark side and are set to rule the galaxy when Kar has a realization that this is not the life he wants and attempts to break free from the hold of the dark side to save his sister from it at the same time. The only problem is his sister Am doesn't want to leave. The article describes that this is very much an Anakin situation where Kar is willing to do whatever he can to save the only family he's ever known and loved, as he attempts to divert from his own destiny in hopes of saving and redeeming his sister. Something that I think is really cool about this story is how wild the surrounding story sounds. While the plot itself is great, I'm almost more interested in the fact that it says they both sit on their thrones on a giant twin Star Destroyer, which I'm assuming is from this shot right here in the trailer. That's just an awesome concept. It's also cool to note that this was based off of the idea of what if Luke and Leia were both born into the Empire and joined into the dark side. I feel that while this is its own story, it could easily play off as a what-if Star Wars scenario. We also got a look at Trigger's second episode, The Elder, where we're looking at the Jedi Padawan Dan. Dan is a very impatient Padawan. He's wanting to witness firsthand some Jedi action when it seems that his wishes come true a little early, and at a time when he least expects it. The article goes on to say that this is a character that everyone could see themselves in and understand how he feels during this episode. Once Dan finds himself in this trouble with who I'm assuming is the Sith character, Dan's master is there to help him learn and overcome obstacles such as this, giving us a great story that's centered on the classic learning experience. Not only that, but the article says that this might be director Masahiko Otsuka's last project, so the whole episode can be seen as a letter to the younger members of his team from himself, almost like the master and apprentice story we will see in The Elder. Next up is one that I'm very excited for, and that's Kinema Citrus's The Village Bride, where we focus on the character simply known as F. I'm excited for this story this time around because this is the first time we're getting any information on this episode, and right away the description is so cool. Straight from the article, it says, and I quote, "From her cloak to her mask to her one-letter name, F is mysterious, hidden, cautious due to a great tragedy in her past. Despite her Jedi heroics in an earlier time, she is really much more of an observer here as she takes in an unfamiliar world and village and must decide, will she step back into her old Jedi life and reveal herself?" Which sounds so interesting to me. I'm a sucker for characters that we know nothing about, and I so hope that we get more reveals in this episode. The article goes on to explain that this is a story where we get to learn a lot about the Force and how other cultures interpret the Force, including F's own personal way of seeing it. The story is described as a tale of redemption, and the last bit of the description speaks volumes to me, F's journey is bittersweet and stirring as she reconnects with others and herself after running for so long. It's thrilling to see her finally embrace the hero within. I absolutely love this concept, and I am now way more excited for this short than I was with the original trailer. And of course, when it comes to characters we know nothing about, we had to get something on the very much anticipated short, The Duel from Kamikaze Douga, where we get to meet the character known as Ronin. Obviously, everyone is very excited for this episode, and I am too. It's taking inspiration from classic samurai films that were responsible for inspiring Star Wars, so this story really just comes full circle. Ronin is described as an anti-hero, and we know absolutely nothing about him. Nothing about his past, not even his name. The article says the only one who knows his name is his sidekick droid, and even then, the droid doesn't speak. What I find to be most fascinating is that the article says that we, as the viewers, will only get so much information on Ronin. In fact, we'll get the same amount of information that the characters within the short will get, which I think is incredible storytelling. But it will also drive me crazy as I try to decipher who he really is. And of course, alongside this short, Ronin will be getting his own novel published by Del Rey this October. I don't think it will answer any of the questions we will end up having by the end of the duel, but I know that any additions to this character will be well worth it. The last bit of the article reads, "The way he's animated and performed in both Japanese and the English dub shows that he really carries the weight of his own past with him on his journey towards self-discovery. And he'll dispense some eye-popping, lightsaber-clashing justice along the way if he must. And I'm all here for it. I've been excited for this short since the minute I saw it in the reveal trailer, and I absolutely cannot wait to see it next week." But that's all the article had to give us for Star Wars Visions. Obviously, this is only 5 of the 9 stories we'll be getting, which means that we will still have a few surprises left in store. I'm very much looking forward to Star Wars Visions, but what do you think? Are you excited for Star Wars Visions? Has this new information added to your excitement for it, or is this something you may not be interested in? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.